So I'm going for a COVID test. It's a second test because I don't believe the first test that the doc gave me yesterday. And I'm wondering, geez, how is it that they're going to do it? Do they have doctors? And now that I'm reading the sign, it appears it's a self-swab test. So they're going to require me to shove it up to my own brain. That's masochistic, if I've ever. Like, oh, holy shit. We'll see. Anyway, I'm still waiting for the person to show up. And, masks are required, so. Although not when I'm alone in the car, I guess. Anyway, it's nice that CVS has this service, even if they do make you self-swab. I'd be interested to see what the efficacy rating is. Like if there are any false positives or whatever requiring people to do this to themselves. Reminds me of when I was back in high school and I had allergies and I had to give myself my own allergy shots, and I had a horrible fear of needles, so I never could, really. I would, go to give myself a shot and I couldn't do it, and then I would pretend that the needle was a rocket and I would go up like this, and then, try and make it land by plunging it into my arm, my thigh, but my arm always stopped the needle from going. So I just ended up with little bloody dots all over my thighs. By the way, it's 28 degrees outside as I have my window open waiting for this person to come to the window. Yeah, a little bit cold.
Okay, have you tested here before?
No.
Okay, I'm going to send out your supplies. The orange striped black bag has your swab and your vial in it. You'll use the same swab for both sides of your nose.
Okay.
You'll insert it a half inch to an inch, swab around each nostril about 3 times. Once you're done swabbing, you'll drop that swab tip first into the vial, place the vial back into this bag and seal it shut. The paperwork does not come out of the bag. You'll leave that in there for the lab. You'll swab right here at the window. Once you're done, you'll take your lab bag and drop it into that collection box, and then use the sanitized wipe to wipe down the lid on the box, and then you're good to go.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, so you said a half inch to an inch. Do you need my stuff?
Nope, everything's in there.
Oh, okay.
You are good.
And you said just a half inch to an inch in each nostril?
Yep.
Do I need to pull forward or just do it here?
Okay.
Right, that's it. Thanks. All right. Well, sinuses on my right side were kind of a little swollen, so I couldn't go as far up as I could. I wanted to make sure that I got as far up as possible, strangely, because I didn't want to get just the small area that they got yesterday, because that only, the PCR only gets the antigens, right, which tend to make it appear as if you have COVID. But the Abbott test that my doc used has only a 48 or a 43% accuracy. So I specifically went here because it said that they had the PCR NAAT test, the molecular who's a what's it, and so I wanted to make sure that I was getting further up and better accuracy. Now, interestingly, both sides of my nose, and the nurse at the doc's office yesterday only swabbed one side of my sinus. I have a niece who I don't know if they used 2 swabs or not, but she tested positive on one side of her nostril and on the other nostril not at all. So she tested negative. So I don't know how that's possible either. I don't think COVID is nostril specific, but we'll see. Anyway, I shoved it up there as far as I could. I was able, obviously, to get it further up on the left side than the right side. The test with CVS takes 1 to 2 days, they say. So, looks like it's going to Quest Labs or something. So, I don't know how often they ship it out, or how often, if it's a local lab or what. But anyway, hopefully I will find out. Now, I did find out that the person that I suspected I would have gotten it from if I actually have it, she tested positive yesterday. And this is a vaccinated person. So, if I do indeed have COVID, again this time, which I'm assuming would be the Omicron variant, and not the initial one, whichever, I don't know what that was. I've heard there's a Delta, an Omicron. I'm assuming the first one was an Alpha. I don't know. I was not made privy to all that information, and I don't watch the news. But anyway, so I would assume this is the Omicron. But anyway, the point is, both times I've gotten COVID now, if I do indeed have COVID, have been under mask mandates, okay? And this time will have been from a vaccinated person. So let me say that again. If indeed I do have COVID this time, I will have gotten COVID both times during mandatory mask mandates while wearing a mask, and this time while in association with a vaccinated person who was a carrier and who also then ended up having it, but whose symptoms initially were mild, and she obviously, believing what CDC and government say, once you get vaccinated, then you don't have to worry anymore. Well, that's not true. And to counter the argument that people are making, false flag arguments about vaccinated people being carriers, again, I caught it, if I have it, from a person who is vaccinated, whose whole family was vaccinated, and whose family now mostly have COVID. So let's be clear. Vaccines do not stop COVID. They make you, if you have a vaccine, it makes you a carrier. You spread the virus. And B, mask mandates don't work because the mask is like a diaper on your face. It might keep shit in, but it doesn't keep germs in, doesn't keep the smell of the fart in, so to speak. So, if you hock a loogie in your mask, yeah, it's going to keep the loogie in, but are the germs really going to stay in? No. Maybe, and only maybe, if everyone wore an N95 mask. But most people, including myself and the docs at the hospital or whatever, are not wearing N95 masks. The N95 masks are specifically saved for those people who are in surgery, whatever, and the primary reason is for them not to spread disease to their patient, not for their patient to not spread disease to them. If it were true that the masks worked to stop COVID from being transmittable, then there would not have been any doctors or nurses on the front line who got COVID because they all wore masks, right? So I just want to come at you with logic and with facts as I know them, facts that are personal to my experience. So that's that. COVID is here to stay. It's like the flu. However, I don't get a flu vaccine for medical reasons, and I also don't get the flu. So clearly, I can't quite say that about COVID because I haven't had the COVID vaccine because of spiritual reasons, and I apparently now may have COVID twice. It's not going away. So what we need to do is stop treating it like it's something that's going to go away. It's not going to go away. Just like the Spanish flu never went away, we just call it the flu now. You know? We need to let our bodies build up an immunity to it. My symptoms have been null. Nothing but a sore throat. I've had no other COVID symptoms. No fever, nothing. So I would have had no way of knowing had I not decided to go to the doc just to see if I had strep. And then, being precautionary, the doc did the Abbott rapid test, which again has only a 43% accuracy rating, so that's why I've gone to CVS to get a second test. We will find out whether or not it's positive or negative, but we'll see.